What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be talking about the benefits of stretching and warming up and how to make that work for you to build more muscle. So stick around. Hey everybody. And I came back from the shoot and it went from being dark in here to like boom light. But anyway, I changed the lighting. So first things first, welcome back, right? It's been a minute since I've done a video. I've been tied up with a lot of stuff. I started a website that's basically finished. Had to create some merchandise, put it on there. Just published a PDF and put it on there. On top of the content stuff, you know, I'm like a caveman, so editing videos and content's pretty tough for somebody like me who's just getting into it. On top of, I have some social media stuff that I need to be working on, and so it's just a constant work in progress. But anyway, go to my website. I'll put it in the description below. Also, I became an affiliate for Amazon, so any kind of supplements or anything that I recommend, I will put those also in the description. Something you guys need to know about me is that I am not the stereotypical person who's in the gym. I spend very little money on supplements because I don't believe in them. I mean, there's very few things that I take because there's very few things that I stand behind. So, and this is years and years and years of experience. So yeah, I'm very familiar with them. A lot of times I just feel like it's just not worth it. So if you see me recommend protein powder or a supplement here or there, it's because I do believe in it and it might be worth you looking into. So anyway, I'm gonna leave the link below. You can check that out whenever you get a chance. I appreciate your support, okay? So going back to the contents of this video, a lot of people know that they're supposed to stretch before a workout, right? They know that we now know too, we're supposed to stretch after a workout. And a lot of people won't, especially men. We don't like to get in there and get butt in the air, and you know, we don't like the world to see how unflexible we are. It's like we lose our man card if we flex a little bit, stretch. But it's something that will prevent injury. It absolutely can make you stronger. It can help target muscles, and good things can come out of that. And that's a big reason why I'm gonna do this video today. And it's gonna make sense when I get done explaining it, but stretching is not a myth. It is a real thing, and it needs to be done. So we'll talk about that. And we're also gonna talk about warming up and what you're doing wrong with warming up, okay? So, on the stretching end, you want to, like today is going to be a push movement day for me today. So I'm going to be training my chest, my shoulders, and my triceps. Well, I have a mind muscle connection with my shoulders, okay? I think most people do. You sit back in a chair and you hold your arms above your head and you just hold them there. You give it just a few minutes, you're going to start feeling a burning sensation in your shoulders, okay? That is a mind muscle connection. You don't even really need to focus to feel that muscle working, right? It's gonna be there no matter what. So with that being said, as an example, there's certain muscle groups out there that don't require much, okay? But then there's other muscle groups like your lats, you know, which is your part of your back, or your chest, your pectoral, major and minor, or you really just flex the major, but those muscle groups are stubborn. And I feel like this is something I've learned later on in life, is that most guys who've been lifting weights for the majority of their lives all have some kind of a shoulder injury. Most of those guys, their story is very much the same, if not exactly the same. They started lifting at a younger age, maybe through football or whatever, just like me. That's when I started. They got underneath the bar, they pushed as hard as they could, they tried to lift as much as they could. They got decently strong. By the time they hit middle age, they hurt the shoulder, and it's never been the same. And You know, some people had surgery and other people just had shoulder impingements, and some people just needed surgery and didn't get it done. So to me, that's not a life that I want to live, okay? And I started realizing I'm going down that path. I started getting into the aesthetic lifting world almost exactly 2 years ago this month. And through trial and error, I learned a lot and grew a lot mentally and spiritually and physically, hopefully physically, right? But one thing that I learned is that the idea or concept that you should get underneath weights all the time and you should be pushing as heavy of a load as you possibly can all the time is just wrong. It's just wrong. Unless you're a power lifter or a strongman, unless you're competing, you know, in a sport that requires you to lift mega heavy weights, it's pretty stupid. I'm sorry, okay? I think it's cool to be able to like push 500 pounds off your chest. It's pretty cool, but it's foolish, especially at this age group. The 20-year-olds, they can do it. Their bodies heal faster than everybody else's, okay? So they can get into that kind of business, and they don't sustain the same kind of injury that an older person does. And so as you get older, you realize you need to be careful what you do. It doesn't mean you need to puss out on it. You got to be careful what you do. So the best way to train is, for one, stretch, okay? Prime those muscles for what's coming. 2, warm up. When you warm up, we're also priming those muscles for what's to come. We are trying, from the word stretch and the word warm up, we're trying to obtain a mind-muscle connection. When you have a mind-muscle connection, you are guaranteeing that you are targeting that specific muscle and that you're going to cause damage to that specific muscle, which will then yield muscle growth, okay? We don't have all the time in the world to get into it today, but trust me, there's different schools of thoughts on this. And one school of thought is, if you have a heavy load that you're lifting, you're gonna cause growth. And they're right, but that also puts you back in that category of, it's a monster load, you're not ready for it. Yeah, you're gonna get some muscle growth, but you're gonna get some shoulder injuries, back injuries, or whatever. We're gonna avoid that, okay? We're gonna do that by combining progressive overload with function in our joints. We're going to keep a mind-muscle connection, so our form is going to be as good and as clean as it possibly can. We're going to use different cues for our compound lifts to ensure that we're doing them the right way, okay? Now, that's a lot to throw at you. This is something that it's kind of a conflict between different schools of thoughts within this within this industry, and you know, no one's really taken the forefront on it. The reason that people won't take the forefront on it is because they see people who say, well, I can't lift heavy, because if I lift heavy, I'm going to lose my mind-muscle connection. And to an extent, they're right, okay? But you also see people on the other end that we see all the time. They're lifting too heavy and they get hurt. Well, the happy medium is establish your mind-muscle connection with everything you do. Keep it, but work your butt off. Push. You should be going up in weight. You should be getting stronger. You will be getting bigger. Those things are going to come, but you can't just say, well, I can't lift hard because I can't lose my mind-muscle connection. No, it's stupid. And that's taking the puss way out, okay? You're not being real, you're not being a man, you're not toughening up, you're not being a warrior woman. You're taking the simple way out. It's not the way this works. Your body wants to adapt and overcome. You bring it new stresses, things that are harder, and it's gonna adapt and overcome to those things, which equals growth, okay? Your body doesn't wanna carry around all this muscle. It doesn't wanna get that strong. It's a burden to it. But it needs you to do whatever it needs to do for you to function. So you start doing something crazy like climbing a mountain. Next thing you know, your body's gonna naturally adapt and you're gonna become stronger so you can better climb that mountain. If it needs to put on muscle for that to happen, it will. But if you go from climbing mountains and all of a sudden you don't climb a mountain and you sit on the couch all day and eat Oreos and Doritos, 6 years from now, you're not gonna be as strong as you were. You're not gonna have the muscle that you had. Because now your body's adapting for sitting on the couch and eating Oreos. It's just that simple, okay? So if you don't lift heavy or heavy enough, you're not training hard enough, you're not gonna grow. Your body doesn't need to adapt to anything at that point. So, anyway, I'm gonna show some examples of how we're gonna get this done, but we're gonna start with the warm-ups and stretches, and then we're gonna talk about mind-muscle connection. We'll make a whole series out of it, okay? So, until next time, guys, I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my website, and I will see you soon.